to come on and do a video. I'm going to ring this singing bowl. If you have any earbuds, earpods, anything of that nature, if you want to lower your volume, I'm not sure exactly how loud it's going to be for you on the singing bowl, but I'm going to ring this singing bowl and I'm going to get started. All right, what I wanted to talk about today was DNA. Um, and not so much as DNA, but well, yeah, DNA. Um, there was something that came to me in my subconscious, and I was talking to my daughter on the phone, and I asked her a question that most people. This is a conversation that a lot of people will not have a conversation about. But if you if you know your history, you know that. Well, let's just put it like this. Trying to see how can I break this in to where you can understand and be able to follow along with things that I'm trying to say. Now, they say when a woman has a child and the umbilical cord is connected, some people cut the umbilical cord right away. Um, I believe there is a connection between your ancestors, the the history of your ancestors, um, when they are attached to that cord. But I also believe that there is also a connection between your lucid dreaming and um, with your visions, and also with your past life aggression, past lives. Um, I believe they all tie in together. You know how um, in certain families you pick up high blood pressure and it goes on through your family. Um, you have in some families where they have drug addictions or they have drinking, and how it passes on through your family. Um, there may be some people who probably never drink a day in their life, but um, if they ever start, it's a possibility that they may become exactly as their ancestors. Now, I haven't researched this stuff that I'm speaking about because I'm solely going on what Spirit has shown me. And um, what I'm trying to say is your ancestry is connected in every way. Dreams via DNA, via disease, drugs, past life, your ancestors are connected in every way. Now, don't quote me, I may be wrong, but I know when a child is born and the umbilical cord is connected for a long length of period of time, that is they're receiving the recordings of their history. The longer the umbilical cord is still attached to the mother, they receive the history. It's like taking a file from a computer and taking it and put it to another computer, but you have to let it run its course until it's finished uploading all of the files onto the new computer. It's the same thing. You have a axe murderer in your family, or you have someone that has Down syndrome. Somewhere down the line, it follows down the line. You have, like me, in case I have a younger brother than me, um, he started going bald in his early 20s. For me, it took a very long time before my hair started to fall out, but it didn't start out until way later. But it had this, for my hair coming out, it has a lot to do with radiation and um, how dry Vegas was. That's a lot of reasons why my hair started coming out, because of the conditions, the weather conditions of Vegas, and not only that, radiation. Um, but it skips a generation. Okay, then you have twins, you have triplets. Sometimes it skips a generation, you know, and this is within your code, within your DNA code. And I believe that because this is that way, your dreams also play a huge part in your past lives and your ancestors' past lives. Now, a lot of people won't touch on this subject, but I'm going to touch on it because um, I know that I'm not the only one that's experiencing this. Like I said, some of us, there's murderers in your family, there's Down syndrome, um, there's drunks, there's drug addicts. I mean, there's a number of things that, people with diabetes, people with cancer, all of these things fall down in line, and some people, going back further back, you got, tribes, you got people that were, head of tribes, they were chiefs, they were, you know, Dalai Lamas, they were, Buddhists, it just follows down the line of um, your generation. You have kings, you have queens, your lineage, um, it follows down the line. So what I'm trying to say is that some of us have really, really bad dreams that connects us to our ancestors, and people don't know this, but you know, before there was, okay, let's say in the time of Noah. Well, how does that family extend if they do not sleep with their sister, their brother, or their mother? How did that family? How does it extend? How do they continue to reproduce? There's a time when there were, you know, the Egyptian times, I'd say, so to speak. Brother marrying sister, or sister marrying brother, or father marrying daughter. These type of things. You know, ancestry. So this is something that is, when you are dreaming these things, it's something that happened in your ancestry. This happened in the during your ancestry time, during your, well, long before you even been here. You know, um, the dreams of being a king, or dreams of being a murderer, dreams of being rebellious. You know that you're not rebellious. You know that you're not against the Almighty. You know that you're not against this or that, or you know, even some dreams of being, evil time or evil, demonic dreams. Um, Again, it could be attack from, someone who is doing magic, but at the same time, it could be the divine partner that you may have been with, or you may have shared your time with. Like, there's a time that where I am now, I was sleeping one night, and this happened twice, two different times, two different people. One person, um, and this, I knew something was going to be wrong. Okay, one person that was there, I had a dream and I was being sexually assaulted. Or, no, I take that back. It wasn't me. It was someone else, I guess. I don't know. I can't remember, but it was somewhat of a sexual assault. And oh no, no, that's what it was. It was a child that was really promiscuous, and it was a little boy that came up and grabbed my hand, but the kid was like way too friendly. He was way too friendly. Um, at this point, I knew that this child had been sexually molested. So I woke up that next morning, and I like looked at this dude, and I'm like, and our birthdays is on the same day and everything, and I'm like, wait a minute. And I asked him, I said, did anything happen to you when you were a child? Have you ever been sexually molested? And he's like, how do you know that? I said, well, I tend to cross ley lines with people during during dreams. If I'm in the same room with you, I'm gonna cross ley lines, and I'm gonna tell you about another story in a minute. I'm gonna cross ley lines with you, and this is how I know. Okay, so then another guy came, and I didn't explain to him why the light was on, but the guy kept complaining about the light being on in the room while we were sleeping. So I didn't quite explain to him why, but he kept complaining about it. So later on, I went to sleep, and I wound up having a dream about him and me coming to him, trying to talk to him, but he was on the phone talking to someone. So I kept trying to get his attention, but he kept ignoring me. Okay, later on, about a week later, me and this guy wind up getting into it. In the dream, I have been trying to talk to him about and the reasons why the light was on at night. Why did we have the light on at night? You know, but the guy did not want to hear me. He didn't want to hear me in the dream. So finally, it came to it that, you know, This is what happened. Okay, another connection. When I was in jail, there was a guy sleeping away from me, but I had a dream about him, and he had a wife, and his wife, well, I knew he had a wife, but I'd never seen her before. But in my dream, she was multiracial, female. And um, in the dream, she was telling him that she didn't want to do that and she didn't want to do this anymore. And in the dream, it was more or less like she was talking about prostitution. She didn't want to do any more prostitution anymore. So the guy father came around, and um, I hear this man's voice. It was his voice in the dream. It was this man's voice in the dream, and I hear him telling her, calling her the B word, and telling her, "You're gonna do this, you're gonna do that," and he slapped her. And the dad got in between. Now this was this man exact voice. It was him, everything down to down to everything. This man, it was exactly this man, exactly his voice. I saw this man's anger, but he never showed anger outside of the dream. The Almighty gave me a gift to where I can look at someone and I can see their anger, and they don't have to even display it. I can just see it. So I was able to see this man's anger in my dream. But I don't really have to be dreaming in order to see someone's anger. I just need to look at them and I can see the hatred and anger in them. I don't know what that is, what kind of gift that is, but I can just see it. I can see people um, misdeeds or their traits or their way. I can see this within them. So what I'm trying to say is that even in passing, even in being in someone's environment, because this is why I speak about energy all the time. I speak about um, energy that people take with them. People walk in the streets and, they pick up everyone's trash. If you are an empath, you're going to pick up a lot of people's trash. And even if it's just getting in the same org field, when you're around a lot of people, there's so many people close together, you're going to be in an org field. It's not just one person that just happened to me while I was in jail. It was more than one person. It was like 3 or 4 people that just happened. And in my dream, I would see these people, hear their voices, hear everything, see their faces. And it's exactly them. No disguised voice, no nothing. Notice in the same face, everything. Um, but energy is is transferable. It's transference, and just like your records, your ancestors' history records is transferred through your dreams. It's not just through an umbilical cord. It's transferred through your dreams. It's transferred through your visions. It's transferred through everything you do, DNA, sickness, um, whether it be a handicap ability, or losing your hair, or whatever it may be, diabetes, drugs, drinking, you know, all of this stuff is passed down, and it even affects your dreams. And I couldn't understand why I was having dreams of ancestry. So spirit was like, this is what has happened in your bloodline. This is what's being shown to you, is that ancestry has happened in your bloodline. And it's to keep in the ancestry because to keep the bloodline strong or keep the bloodline the same. So, and how long ago this been, I really don't know. But it's a trait of ancestry. Even if it's molestation, even if it's rape, even if it's um, abductions, you know, it still goes on. Even if it's uh, telepathy, even if it's psychic abilities, even if it's um, um, manifestations and just a lot of different things that are in the spiritual community that can be passed down from generation to generation. And this sort of thing, I couldn't understand about my dreams. I just couldn't understand it until Spirit said, this has been passed down. So, how long back, how far back, I don't know. But any dream you have, pay attention to them because it could quite well be ancestry. It can quite well very be ancestry. I mean, I know some people say, oh, I've been here, I've been there before. You may have in a past life, but your past life is still your ancestry. It's still your ancestry, your past life. So, um, I just wanted to get on here and talk about that and talk about some things that some people just do not want to talk about. You know, um, I mean, abductions, rapes, uh, uh, pedophilia, uh, what is it? Broken marriages. Um, it just these are your ancestry's karmas. This sort of thing is what's passed down. So, in your dreams, pay attention to them because it could be ancestry line. If you don't understand why you're having these weird dreams, you don't understand why this is happening. Look through your ancestry because 9 times out of 10, this is where it's coming from. Now, I haven't researched any of this stuff. I'm just putting it out there in non-disclosure or anything like that. I'm just putting it out there because I feel it is something that needs to be talked about, and it should be because ancestry was a big deal back, you know, during the Roman times and before then, you know, and that's what it was, this was the bloodline. This is how things stayed within the bloodline, so, um, but ancestry is one of the biggest things of, you know, that happens, some of your demonic dreams could be ancestry um, because some demonic being had a contract with them, your ancestor, and wind up the contract came down to you. So this is where they talk about karma, that you breaking the karma, you know, or like they say, ancestral wealth, but ancestral wealth can be anything. It can be anything, but the most powerful is a manifester. Those that can manifest, and this is manifesting wealth. This is wealth from an ancestor. So I just wanted to get on here and talk about that. And like I said before, I don't get on here that often, but I'm going to try to do a video every weekend or ending of the week. Um, like I said, I don't get on here unless um, the Almighty is trying to get me to put out something. Um, yeah, I wanted to talk about my dream this morning, but I don't think I do. It's about my book. It was about me, and I was standing in front of Queen Latifah. Why, I don't know. But some friend of hers said, hey, you got to hear this person's story. And there were some children that had a hold of my book. And they were saying, well, we just want to correct some mistakes that are, within your book. And I said, you can't change not one word in that book. You can't change not one word. What it's meant to be is what it's meant to be. And I said, this book that you have is the Holy Grail. I said, you shouldn't try to change anything in it. What's written is what's written. And they say, well, we just want to clean it up and make it, where it's, where you, I guess, supposed to be sound better or sound the way it's supposed to sound. But I don't know if this woman was supposed to be an investor, but some children were working on my book, helping me to get my book out and published. But they were more or less working on the writing part. And I was telling them about the pictures that were drawn that were very significant. And I'm so worried about my book, I'm not too much worried about trying to tell Latifah about my life story and what's going on and why the book is here. But I was more concerned about my book than anything. But I believe this friend was trying to get her to invest into publishing, having my book published. I don't know, but that's what it felt like. This is exactly what it felt like. So I don't know. But anyway, Lion of Judah, Elder Valerian's out. Oh yeah. If you resonate with this message, pass the message on. Never know who it may help. If you like what you see, like the video. Like what you hear, you resonate with what I'm saying. Like the video, pass it on. It may help someone else. You never know who it may help. That's what we are. That's what we're here to do. Each one teach one. As they're saying, or how they say it. I don't know how they say it. I don't know if I'm even saying it right, but yeah, pass the message on. It could quite possibly well help someone down the line. Thank you for listening.